Okay, in this example, we're going to look at a geometric problem that also deals with quadratic formula. So this one is dealing with a parallelogram, and it says that the base of the parallelogram, it measures 5 centimeters more than the altitude. They also tell us the area of the parallelogram is 40 square centimeters, and they want us to find the base or the measure of the base and the altitude. So we want to figure out both of them. So to start with, though, the base is 5 centimeters more than the altitude. If you remember from geometry, altitude means height. So I don't know the height, so I'm going to call that x, but I do know that this base is 5 more than that. So the whole bottom is 5 plus x. Also recall that the area of a parallelogram is the same as a rectangle, it's just base times height. Now I can substitute in my values. I know the area is 40. The base was 5 more than the altitude. So 5 plus x times x. So in this case, we're going to do some distributive. And then when we solve quadratics, we want them written in standard form. So we have to make it equal 0. And I notice this is a little out of order on the right-hand side. So I'm going to put the x squared first, then the 5x. And then in order to move that 40 over, we have to do that inverse operation. So we're going to subtract 40 on the end. Okay, now I'm going to set up my quadratic formula. I know, let's see, a is 1, b is 5, c is negative 40. So let's go ahead and substitute in all our numbers. So we got negative 5 plus or minus the square root of 5 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 40 all over 2 times 1. Now again, this is an application, so it's okay to get a decimal. We want decimal forms on our application type questions. So you're going to use your calculator, and we're going to draw the fraction bar, and we're going to put negative 5, and we're going to break up that plus or minus. So I'm going to go plus 5 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 40 all over 2 times 1. And you know what, guys? I forgot my little parenthesis there. Don't forget your parentheses. If you type all of that into your calculator, again, use the fraction bar, put the numerator in, put the denominator in. When I calculate that, I got 4.3 for the value of x. Okay, so that seems reasonable. That means this would be 4.3, and then 5 plus 4.3 would be 9.3. So I got my base and height. Now we do need to check the other one because sometimes we actually might get two different answers that work. So I don't know, let's go ahead and calculate this fraction. So negative 5 plus or minus, in this case we're subtracting 5 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 40 all over 2 times 1. Again, put the numerator in your calculator, and then on the denominator put 2 times 1. In this case we get negative 9.3. Well, that doesn't make sense that the base is a negative amount, so that's not a valid answer. So in this case, we only got one answer. The base was 9.3 and the height was 4.3. And if you want to check, you can multiply those together, and it should come out really close to 40. It might not be exactly 40 because remember, these were decimals and we did